All right, so I'm just going to do a little review on the Continental MPT81 41 by 12.5 wide tire that I have on my 2019 Ford F450. This is my second set of these, and combined I have roughly 100,000 miles on two sets. I actually got 62,000 miles on my first set, and I have about 35,000 miles on this set, and as you can see, there's still quite a bit of tread left here on these. So kind of questions that people ask, and how does it perform, or how much noise does it make, or how does it drive? So we'll kind of just start with the noise. If you have any other kind of off-road tire that is not an all-terrain tire, let's just say any kind of mud terrain tire on any kind of a truck or a Jeep, it sounds exactly the same. It's a little bit louder than an all-terrain, but it sounds like any other mud terrain tire on any other vehicle that you may have with mud terrain off-road tires. The 450 is pretty well insulated, so I think you hear it a little less, especially less than like a Jeep. I have a 392 Jeep, so you don't hear it as much as even that, because I'm on a 39 KM3 on that, and those tires are louder than these tires. So sound wise is just the same as any other off-road tire, I would say. Wear life seems to be better for me than really any kind of BFG or Toyo tire I have had from a longevity standpoint. I definitely do a lot of dirt. I'm probably on the highway, 60% of the time, and on dirt 40% of the time. They do see a lot of dirt. Not like off-roading and spinning the tires kind of off-road. So I think that helps with kind of not taking chunks out of them and keeping them alive longer. And then I do rotate them pretty often, because as most people know, with the death wobbles with the Fords, I've noticed that if I rotate them more often, then they tend to last longer. So like I said, this is with about 30,000 plus miles on my second set of these. Truck has 100,000 miles on it. I put 4,000 miles on the truck stock, and then I went to these super singles, went 67 or 68,000 miles before putting the new set on, and now I have 100K. So like I said, 60 plus with the first set and 30 plus now with this set. Not going to switch to a different tire. People go to the Michelin tire. They say it's better. They prefer it. For me, with where I store my spare, going wider to 13.5 wide or anything like that, I don't think I can get it to fit, and I don't want to have to change that particular setup that I have as far as where I store it. Also, with having other off-road vehicles, I have ran 40 by 13.5 tires on like a Jeep or on a Raptor, and I'm just not a fan. I prefer a 40 by 12.5, like a BFG, a race takeoff. Okay, that's fine. Or a 39 12.5, but anything 12.5 wide, I prefer over a 13.5 wide. Just I think it turns better and rides better. So for that reason, I'm going to just always stick with these tires. I have not had a flat with them yet. So I've driven over nails on the job site and things like that, and I don't know how thick these things are, but it has surprised me that I haven't had a single flat. I don't know. This one, actually, I have a pretty good rip in. It'd be ideal if I could actually find it. I think right there, if I zoom in, you can see these things will take a beating and crack, and then they're still fine. I do run anywhere between 80 and 90 psi on them, and yeah, so I've covered what they sound like, how long they've lasted, that I have nearly 100,000 miles of time on two sets of them. They're heavy as all hell. Rotating these tires is not fun. Finding somewhere to do it, it can be a bit tricky. Half the time I do it myself, half the time I pay somebody. Just kind of depends. I don't look forward to doing it, that's for sure. Especially the rear wheel. The rear wheel will like sit on the hub, and then you got to get under there with a sledgehammer to like break it loose off the hub. So that's one kind of downside to them, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It drives fine. Drives the same as it did before. Oh, with re-gearing and then running this bigger tire, as far as like how it tows great. I have the camper on all the time, and then I tow another truck with a trailer behind it, and so I'm somewhere around 26,000 pounds total. I go up grades all the time, coming up out of El Centro, or going up to the high desert near Barstow. So I haven't had any issues there. It is the 6-speed transmission, but I can put cruise control on at 70, and on any kind of moderately flat or slight hill, it stays in 6, then just cruises 70, 75 with a trailer, which technically you're not even supposed to be going that fast, but um, it's just so smooth, and it just doesn't bother it at all. I think some of that might have to do with I have a custom leaf pack on the back. No airbags, just it's all leafs. I didn't want to run airbags. I'm not a fan of airbags. I used to have a Kelderman air ride system on an old Sportmobile E350 van, and after an airbag went out on me and then I had no suspension the whole way around, I just will never go to any form of an air ride system again. That's kind of just not for me. So that's kind of my experience with that, and why I just run um, leafs. I mean, you could technically just run like an overload airbag on here and keep the leaf pack instead of running like a 4-link with an airbag. But this thing just articulates better. So a lot of the welders out here have airbags on their welding rigs, and they're still dualies. And this thing, to me, performs better. I am going up big grades. I don't know if you can see out here in the mountains, but I do go up hills and dirt roads, if you want to call them a road, upwards of 18, 19, 16 degrees. I mean, 10 degrees all the time, but you just don't, I'm not even really, those don't really even phase me anymore. 17, 18 degrees, I'm kind of like, oh, is the camper going to slide out of the back or this or that? But I'm getting a little bit off topic. But with the tires, they get great traction. They off-road great. I haven't had a flat. They run great on the road. I have got the death wobbles, speed wobbles before, but after I rotate them, it goes away. And I don't think that's actually tire related, because other people with Fords get that. So, because even the gang trucks and different things out here that these guys run are Fords. So that kind of just seems to be a Ford thing. It's not a tire thing. So yeah, if you're thinking about going to a super single, or you just want to put these 40s on a different 20-inch rim, I'm seeing guys even run these on the Dodge 2500s, or even the Ford just non-dually 250 and 350s now. This kind of 20-inch, 40-inch, 20-inch wheel, 40-inch tire combination is getting a lot more popular, with basically every off-road vehicle being able to stuff a 40 under it now, with Jeeps and Raptors and all of these different vehicles. A 40's not nearly as big as it used to be. So um, yeah, I think it's a great tire. If you're in the market or trying to find information on it, that's kind of why I made this, as somebody that's been on these tires for 5 years, 2 sets, and I've been on BFG all-terrains, KM3s, KR2 race takeoffs, Toyo tires, like the Nito Trail Grappler, um, what I think the Toyo Open Country is the one that I was on, and the Toyo MT I think I had on one of my F150s, if I recall. I primarily stick with BFG when I get off-road tires. Those are the ones I prefer, but some of the vehicles I've bought have had other tires on them when I get them, and then I'll run them for a little bit, but I normally sell them. So I would say that this is a comparable to a like BFG KM3 or something like that, from a width and height standpoint, if you're just talking about a 40, 12 and a half wide. I'm not really sure what the weight is, and there's something like 20 ply or something, because each tire has a weight rating of 6,600 pounds. So the one tire in the back has a higher rating than the two tires that come on the 450 stock, which most people don't really believe or find hard to believe. It doesn't make much sense or look like that's how it would be, but if you look up the weight rating on these tires, it is higher than the two OEM tires combined that come on the F450. So you could theoretically have 25,000 pounds loaded on the truck, counting like the truck and a camper if I put like a heavier camper on here. But legally, the Ford F450 chassis can't even actually handle that much weight. If you had a F550 or something like that's like about the Earth Roamer, right? That's on a F550 cabin chassis, so those have a little bit higher of a weight rating than these F450s. And while I would love an Earth Roamer, it's a bit out of the budget. This is a little bit more budget friendly, and I built this before COVID and all of the popularity of overlanding and stuff. So not nearly in it anything like an Earth Roamer, but it's a good tire. And if you guys are thinking about going to a 41 super single setup, or you just want to run these as a 40 on a different lighter truck, I think it will be a good tire. I think it is a heavy tire. So if you're not really planning on towing or something like that, I don't know if I would go with this tire because it's just going to be so much heavier than just getting like a 40 BFG now that you can get with a 20-inch wheel. Toyo and BFG are kind of seeing the market and adapting to the market. And, you know, traditionally you would always have like a 40 with a 17, but now you can get 40s with a 20 or even a 42 with a 20 now. So, yeah, I'll just kind of end the video here. If you guys have any questions or want me to do a different video about something else on there, just let me know. All right, thanks.